of course, online transactions and see what is playing out at the Nigerian Exchange Limited. That's very important. But the market is closing the week down 1.07%. Top gainers, we have Boa Foods, we have Nem Insurance PLC, we have Kotval, we have Ikeja Hotels, we have Multiverse. Top losers for today, we have Boa Cement, we have Charms, we have Quartix, we have Elalix, and we have Unity Bank. Well, I'm to be joined by phone by Mr. Jamil Mohammed. But before I link up with Jamil Mohammed, Effiong is already in the house. Effiong, 1.07% with what we've seen. And I was reading through earlier this morning. I think even the MTN shares got a big blow yesterday. Take us through some of the fundamentals of the week.
So I told you that investors and fund managers are going through a kind of fatigue in their investment attitude. It is the mirror that we are getting from the larger society that's influencing and showing us how the stock market is performing. Big companies, they are losing strength, and then investors, majority of them are holding back funds. They don't bring to the markets. Those who have investments are showing great interest in selling off and, holding some fund. It is the fears that we have spotted in the environment that is causing this. And when you look at the incentives for investment seem to be drying up. So that's the way things are. Today's negative trade fueled by losses. You mentioned MTN. Apart from MTN and even those ones that you mentioned when we started, you have the likes of big banks like Access Corporation. You have Adova in the oil and gas sector. There are so many of them.
Let's quickly get Jamil's view so that we wrap up with your views. You're in the studio. Jamil's joining us via phone. Jamil Mohammed is an equities trader at APT Securities and Funds Limited. It's good to have you on the show. We see a lot of sell-off for cash at the exchange. Take us through what you think is responsible for this figures coming out of the exchange.
I think what I can say is that what will be responsible for the way market traded today. We saw market losing 7%, and we have today we have the index trading below 50,000 points that is closed yesterday, and now 49,664,000. The market moved between 50,000 and 50,017 points, down to 49,371. So this, as we have 24 and 19 gainers, so the market price is negative, and also we saw the gainer chart and the user chart. What would lead led the user chart by 31, led the user chart by 9.95. So this is exactly what happened in the market. But what we have had now is that the market is on a quiet mode. Because of the fact that if you look at the activity, the market is lower than what is expected. Market traded about 1.9 billion.
All right. All right, Amos, thank you so much, Mr. Jamil Mohammed. There, do enjoy your weekend. I'm not sure that audio was so clear there because a little bit of breakups there, but we apologize. I think the message was at least passed to us, talking about the issues surrounding the performance of the Nigerian market. I go back to Effiong Ekop, who's in the studio, so that we wrap up this segment of the show.
So, Lou, I still expect that the market will continue to throw up negative transactions, except something comes up to, encourage investors, to return back to market subsectors, which we do not. Don't forget that we've already seen half-year results from many of the companies. The ones remaining are very, very few. And those who had wanted to take profits the market, they have done so. So incentives, when you think and then look around the market sectors, they have almost dried up. So the third quarter, far from now, understand. So it is the economic conditions in the external sector that is influencing what we are here. And because they are not very good, so investors are reacting in the negative. And we see big companies, losing out, investors losing out. So it will be like that. But having said this, the forward-looking investor who has money should know that it is an opportunity for him, to back these cheap securities now. So the question is, how many of the people, have investable funds? That's the issue because of the high rates of inflation and the low value of the naira. So all of this combined, to still knock activities in the market downward. But the stock market being a dynamic one, it's waiting to respond positively whenever any condition just shows up.
All right, thank you so much, Effiong. We'll continue our discussion on Monday. All right, then.